The Norfolk State Spartans, winners of the MEAC Tournament Championship, and as a matter of fact, going to be in the NCAA Tournament. Got a game on Friday at Stanford. In his 8th season as the head women's basketball coach at Norfolk State is Larry Vickers, as he joins us here on the program. Of course, an alum of Norfolk State as well. As you can see in the background, looks like he's getting set for some practice over there in the gym. What's going on, Coach Vickers?
How you doing? Everything's going well over here.
Good. I must mention, of course, he's the reigning HBCU National Coach of the Year as well, with the success that the Spartans have been having going back, of course, to last year. So even before we talk about basketball, talk about perhaps the low ranking that you've received. I want to get your thoughts on that. Before we kind of came on, you said you were the best head coach in terms of, now I'm not a Call of Duty player, but you say you're the best in the country in Call of Duty.
Yeah, I'm definitely the best head coach for sure. There's a few assistants that I play with, at Temple, Howard, some other schools. But as far as head coaches, I'm number one. In this business, you got to kind of find some time to occupy your time and just get your mind off certain things. And Call of Duty is the way I do it, when I just need to take a film break.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Speaking about, and I don't know, I'm just saying, speaking about maybe getting things off of your mind, a 15 seed, Coach Vickers? 15?
Yes. I'll tell you this, every year we try and figure out something that we could do better to get a little better seed. Last year they matched us up against the number 1 overall seed, so I know we weren't the worst team in the tournament, but this year we showed some growth. You could obviously see that they're starting to respect repeat champions in their league, and Jackson got all the way up to a 14. But we were our non-conference: Minnesota, Miami, Wake Forest. I'm missing one, Auburn. Auburn was Diamond's first game. We would have been at full tack with Diamond and McCoy and everybody else. Maybe we win 1 or 2 of those games. Obviously, Auburn is in the tournament, and then that can kind of get us up to a 12 or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, so you're not too. You kind of understand it. Wishing though that you were higher.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously we know no 16 on the women's side has ever done it. I think only one 16 on the men's side has done it, but a few 15s have done it. So it is possible. So, we want to kind of go in there knowing that it's been done before, and potentially we just want to kind of go in there, compete, keep it close, and then see how everything falls at the end.
I've watched you, especially the last 4 or 5 years, man. You're building a really, really good program. As a matter of fact, someone asked me, well, when you think about programs, and specifically HBCU programs, who are some of the better coaches? You've got Terrell Robinson at A&T. You've got Coach Reed at Jackson State. You're right there. But you're not. It's not just an HBCU program. You're building a really great program at your alma mater. Talk to us about how you've been able to do this through now your 8th season as the head coach there at Norfolk.
Yeah, you talked about it, just building blocks. Obviously I took over a program that was 353 out of 353 in the RPI, so we were dead last. And year 1 we were able to turn it around to 15-15, then get a little bit better, 17-13, 17-14, 18-13, get a little better. And then we actually thought, Shanette Hicks had the honor of winning National Player of the Year for y'all in 1920. We thought that was going to be our first season in the tournament, but COVID canceled our tournament. We thought that was going to be our first year, and then from there, COVID year, I had 8 seniors, 9 seniors. We had to rebuild. And then now we're kind of back where we want to go. I mean, you name some amazing coaches. All of those coaches have the same issues that I do. The PWI leagues that are close to them, the Big South. We played High Point. They were the Big South champion. We beat them. We played Drexel. They were the CAA champion. We beat them. So, all of us have trouble scheduling sometimes, but you kind of want to just continue to challenge yourselves and kind of fall where the chips lie.
Larry Vickers, again, in his 8th season as the head women's basketball coach at Norfolk State. He joins us here on BOXTOROW. look, I gotta like you've got some really good players.
Yeah, for
Sierra
sure.
Wheeler. This goes on. How? Like I didn't Diamond Johnson. She's really really good. But I looked last year. I didn't even realize. I mean, she was what, second team All ACC. She's just done a bunch of things while she was at NC State in the ACC.
Yeah.
How were you able to get Diamond Johnson?
Yeah, I mean, her basketball resume is extensive. People forget that she was an Olympian with Caitlin Clark and Paige, and she's one of those. I tell everybody all the time, I have one of the best 25 players in the country. I'll put her a little higher than that, but I don't think it's arguable when I use the 25 number. During COVID, that was my first really, really, really good team. They shut all the gyms down, and she really had very few places to work out as she was preparing to go to Rutgers. She's obviously from Philly, but her mom's lived here in Virginia the whole time. So she was working out in our place. And that just kind of gave us a chance to kind of build a relationship. She has a really, really good relationship with one of my assistant coaches, Trinice Fox. When Trinice was working for Boo, she was one of the people that was working out with Diamond. And then so they were working out here. And then, she was kind of watching our program from afar. She used to take jabs at me like, why didn't you ever offer me? I think sometimes as HBCU coaches, we feel like, hey, we're not going to get X kid or Y kid. When really they're interested in our band, they're interested in our cheerleaders. They enjoy during our media timeouts. We're playing Chief Keef. It's like like some stuff that they really enjoy that we just take it like we kind of like, they don't want to play in such and such league. When really there's good basketball in every league, there's good coaches in every league, and they're just looking for the right fit. So when she put her name in the portal this time, I said, I might as well shoot. She's been to 2 PWIs. It didn't really work. Let's see if it works this time.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great point. I think you're right. You hit it right on the head. A lot of times at our schools, we don't look at top players. I guess you won't do that anymore.
Nah, but it's also like it has to be a perfect situation for everybody. There's a young lady, Nia Clouden. She went to Michigan State. She was all Big Ten. Her mother went here. So it was like, yeah, your offers are, Michigan State and Indiana and Illinois and Maryland, but you got a Norfolk State offer. Your mom went here. Is that piece. We kind of got to find those fits and make it kind of easier on them. But I always tell everybody who I recruit, we play in front of a great fan base. I never want to get rid of doubleheaders. Sometimes they talk in our league about getting rid of doubleheaders, but we play in front of 1,500. Pretty much every game. You can go to the A10 and you don't play in front of that many people. You can go to the Sun Belt and not play in front of that many people. You could go to the ACC and not have 1,500 people in the arena. So, when everything is kind of put together in the ball, you're like, oh, hey, Norfolk State got a good situation.
Larry Vickers, again in his 8th season as the head women's basketball coach at Norfolk State, gracious enough to join us here on the program. Of course, the Spartans going to be on the road in the first round of the NCAA tournament on Friday at Stanford. For you, how were you able to finally, like you had been knocking on the door in the AC final, regular season championship. How were you able to finally get over the hump and get that tournament championship this year?
Well, I tell you.
Last year. Last
year's team was different than this year's team because last year's team was just so angry. They were angry at the way the year finished the year before. They came into every workout, off season, in season, angry. And that led to 26-7. This year's team kind of came into the year knowing that they were the hunted, knowing that we probably had the most talented team. And they moved a little bit different, almost with a sense of an entitlement. But that somehow became a motivating factor. We don't want to lose this. So both teams were completely different, but I'm happy to get over the hump. Like we talked about, 18-19, we lose in the championship game to Bethune-Cookman. Then 19-20, Bethune-Cookman's the number one seed. They lose. We beat our first round opponent pretty bad, and we feel like we're going to be rolling into the championship game in COVID. And then COVID year wasn't our best year. Then the following year, regular season co-champs. And then now back to back. So I think you hit it on the head though, as far as the building blocks. I think we've done it the right way.
No doubt about it. I talked about Diamond Johnson. I mentioned a little bit about Kiera Wheeler, phenomenal basketball player. Speak to what she means to this team and program.
Well, she had 20 and 15 in the championship game, and I'm sitting over there thinking that she didn't play well. I don't really look at stat sheets during the game, so I looked at it like, wow, and I think that just kind of speaks to what I expect from her at this point. It also speaks to how good she is. You don't get on those mid-major watch lists for National Mid-Major Player of the Year on accident. If you look at her body last year, 2 years ago, the amount of work that she put in, she earned everything that she's now receiving.
No doubt about it. So, tough game, obviously on Friday against Stanford. And the thing about it, you've been there. Some of your young ladies have been there in terms of in the tournament. So maybe that part of it, not going to be over your head, if you will, a bit, because you've got some experience. Your thoughts on the challenges that the Cardinal present?
Well, I've been a part of a very historical 15 versus 2 seed with Norfolk State. I was a men's assistant, beat Missouri, and I've been trying to tell my team all week, even going into last year's game with South Carolina, which was extremely tough. Now this year we have Stanford. You want to win medias versus these great teams, right? You can't get too high. You can't get too low. We want to win medias. We want to try and win a quarter, and we want to just stack our goals up. We're down one of our forwards, McCoy Diawara. We've been missing her since mid-January. So we're going in there with 3 post players, probably against the best front court in the country. But we're going to compete. We're going to make them work for everything. We're going to try and show them some things that they haven't seen. Their league, everybody kind of plays similar. So I think that's one of the good things about our league. I feel like, between us and even in the SWAC, a lot of coaches have a lot of different styles, where when you look at that Pac-12, everybody plays man. Everybody kind of does drop coverage. So we're going to kind of show them some things that they haven't seen.
Of course, the Spartans are ranked number 17 in the collegeinsider.com women's mid-major poll. Last thought, what does it mean to be the two-part question? Okay. Not only the head women's basketball coach at your alma mater, but making the transition, to your point, from the men's side as an assistant to now that being a head coach on the women's side.
Well, I tell everybody, is my thing. I knew going into my junior year of college, I wanted to be the head coach of this university. I didn't know it was going to come at 33. People always say be specific with your prayers, because I just said I wanted to be the head coach. I didn't say I wanted to do men. I didn't say I wanted to do women. I will say I would, after coaching 8 years on this side, I'll never go back. I think there's special things in the locker room and being a women's basketball coach that I know I'll miss if I go back to the men's side. So, I mean, it's just an honor. It's honestly an honor. Especially, I tell everybody, I've been walking around this campus now 21, 22 years, right? Because I went from player, men's assistant, right to women's head coach. So it's an honor.
Larry Vickers, again, in his 8th season as the head women's basketball coach at Norfolk State. He joins us here on Box to Row. The Spartans going to be on the road. First round of the women's tournament on Friday, taking on Stanford. Coach Vickers, appreciate the time. Continued success to you and the Spartans.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, you got it. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
All right, you got it.
This is our first time speaking.
It is our first time. It is our. That's on me. Should have been spoke to you, Lord. But see, a lot of times, like even last year, the way we did things, I think you guys played on a Friday, and the show airs on a Saturday. So I you know what I'm saying? So I'm not making excuses. I should have been before that. Okay. But now that we're doing more video stuff, I can upload this on YouTube. Plus, my show airs on Sirius XM College Sports Radio on Friday. So
so this is your primary. What else do you do? Because you definitely have the radio.
Yeah, my show. You know, we're on 30 some odd stations around the country. Sirius XM. You know, we do the BOXTOROW, HBC All America teams and all that. So yeah, this is what I do: the radio, administrative, selling the sponsorship, all that. It's full time.
No, it was easy. That's why I said that. It was easy. My first interview with somebody, sometimes they're a little clunky, but this was really easy. So
okay, well, thank you, sir.
Yeah, I want to compliment you on that.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
No problem.
All right.
If you ever need me, I'll have Alex. Alex, he'll give you my information. I don't really use social media a ton. I got to get better with that, but I'll make sure he sends you my number.
Okay, sounds good. Appreciate it, Coach.
All right, talk to you soon.
All right, now.